Well, good afternoon. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I guess it's still morning here on the West Coast, technically 11 o'clock. But here I am, Araya Anra, coming to you live. The Dragon Lady is here to speak to the For the Love of Dragons family and others. I know this gets shared out and touches a lot of people. So, we've got some updates this week. You guys feeling the energy? Couple things I want to talk about, and I'm hoping I remembered to put my microphone in that I use for recordings, because a lot of people, for some reason, I've been doing these lives the same way for 3 years, and all of a sudden the sound quality on the lives is gone down for some people. I don't know if it's across the board, but I've got my microphone in, so please let me know if it's better, if it made a difference, if you're hearing me okay. Especially when you watch it on the YouTube channel later. So, anybody on the YouTube, please leave me a comment if there's any problem with the sound quality at all. Whew, so we're still in it. Wow, there's smoke everywhere, right? We are in the home stretch, but also the toughest part. Hello, Matthew. What a nice surprise. We are really in the crunch time, right? A lot of you have probably been feeling like you're in a pressure cooker. So much happening. It seems like, you know what? I did something last Friday, big activation that we're going to talk about. It feels like a month or two ago. Anybody else getting that? We're moving out of the time-space continuum as we have understood it, as we have experienced it before. So a lot of you are starting to feel these really strange machinations with time where it stretches out and then it's really tiny and a whole day seems to take forever and yet you got nothing done and it flew by. And you look back and you're like, wow, this morning was really far away. How did that happen? I've been meeting with my Dragon Hearts every month, my ongoing group, because we have powerful stuff to come together and do, and continuing to bring more information in. And literally in 4 weeks between meetings with them, I feel like it's been 6 months. There's so much happening. So allow yourself, if you are feeling overwhelmed, fatigued, a lot of the ascension symptoms and the things that are going on with all the stuff being bombarded into our physical reality right now, just hang in there because you are moving through it, but a lot of water. You need to flush all the toxins out. Massive downloads. Absolutely. We are getting massive downloads into our cellular structure, into our mental bodies, into our emotional bodies. And so what this means is as we transition the physical, it's struggling the most. We've talked about this multiple times. But you need a lot of water, ideally with lemon in it, to flush your body out. That will really help with all the things that are going on with your body. I know I'm getting inspired to do a master cleanse just to let some of this, and I feel heavy, I am heavier. I would say that we actually on our call this week discussed how the majority of us have put on 15 to 20 pounds since December without changing anything. Exercise stays the same, diet stays the same, routine stays fairly the same, and yet there's this added weight going on. I feel like the body is really struggling to release and let go of and prepare itself for where we're headed. So what I want to talk about today is a couple of things with mentioning the Dragon Hearts and the ongoing and how we come together to do work, because it's so powerful. And I want to make sure you understand what the Dragon Heart is, because I'm taking applications right now for next year's program. And if you are meant to be one of those 9, I want you to at least know that it's out there, that it's time to get applications in, that even though it's 4 months away as a start date, everything is lining you towards that you will start feeling like you're being pulled towards a funnel with the dragons of something bigger, something that's about to just push you forward into a new realm. And that may very well be the Eye of the Dragon program. That is the first half of the Way of the Dragon Heart program. Because what that program is designed to do is to really get you aligned with who you truly be. Especially meant for those that are Dragon Hearts. For those that on your first and foremost incarnational level was as dragon. That your energy is predominantly dragon. And even though you have incarnations in star systems and here in human form and whatever platforms you've gone to experience on a soul level, that you are always going to go back to and feel the essence of dragon energy when you are a Dragon Heart. And so to connect with that, to move through an initiation through all the dragons and the frequency bands that they operate within, up to that level where you can start to connect with that higher dimensional body that is yourself. That's really the design of the program. It's meant to take you through all the clearing levels very rapidly, because that's what the dragons do. They work really efficiently, really rapidly for major transformations. And what tends to happen through the program is a continuous pushing forward, a continuous snowballing effect of your own opening, connecting with yourself. What does that mean when you connect with your true aspect? Usually your gifts, all your clairs will start to open and operate. If you've got some working, the rest of them can open. If you don't have any going, you can really learn to access your primary and secondary. But that is just a way of communicating with and starting to get in touch with your higher self. So when you connect with your dragon self, you start to realize what you're truly here for. And that starts to unfold. And it ends up bringing a lot of beautiful shifts in your life, even if it's mainly perspective of what you're here doing, how that gets enhanced when you're aligned to yourself, and where that will take you. So what I did with my Dragon Hearts last Friday, and this is one of the things that we keep doing work. You've been aware of my activations for a long time. Did Kailash. That was a really big major one where I went in person with a group last September. Because of all the things unfolding on the planet, I have known about certain places around the globe that I need to activate with the larger grids. My responsibility is larger grids. My secondary responsibility is to teach you guys to get you aligned to yourselves so that you are out activating the points and the dragons and awakening them wherever you be. Because I'm one person, I can't do the whole globe, and it's more powerful in numbers. So by teaching you guys, that's why I come every week, to give you guys different tools and share and inspire. So what we did, let's see, we did Mount Fuji earlier this year. We did 3 activations this summer with the Rainbow Bridge. That is the connecting point between the dimensional grid that has been held by the dragons and the new dimensional grid, which the new Earth, the quantum field, the 5th dimension. There's a lot of ways to reference it. But that golden template is a new foundational template, and we are moving towards that. We are leaving the crystalline foundation with the elemental framework behind, and we're moving into a golden foundation with the crystal framework into that new Earth realm. That's new Earth is what a lot of people are calling it. I would say it's just a fifth dimensional experience, and our bodies are trying to move to that. So in order for all the pieces to come into play, some of these larger frameworks are what I said I'm responsible to activate. And so we did on last Friday, September 11th, we activated the Antarctica point. So the whole South Pole point, which was a major, I'd known it would be big, and I didn't know exactly when. I kept questioning. It was interesting to question, all right, I know I'm supposed to get to Antarctica at some point. How will I ever get there in person? That's pretty hard to do. It's either very, very expensive or very, very limited in what you can experience, where you can go. Would I be able to get across a landmass and actually to where I would need to be for that specific grid? So, yes, Matthew was on Kailash with us, and hoping to be able to join in on the next big one. Yes, and a lot of times with them, we do actually bring in other people to support, which is why I announced last week, we're doing this on Friday. If you want to hold space and come and join in, numbers always amplify. So going in with that, you might have noticed a lot of people were focused on 9/9 on last Wednesday. You might have really been aligned and felt some things starting to move there. But for me, the 11th was very specifically shown to me that was when we needed to do it. And part of that is related to that sacred date. 9/11 also creates an 11 with the 2020. But for those of us in the United States, 19 years ago was a large event on 9/11 that really impacted the psyche and the human collective, predominantly in the United States, but it was a very global awareness piece. And 19 years later adds up to a 10 or a 1, which is a new cycle beginning, which is movement into, my whole body's tingling on that, of the completion of that, and a new cycle, a new movement forward in growth of truth, of exposure, disclosure, of community. Because the new Earth grid that we keep referencing is that whole crystal framework is a framework of community, that we cannot move into it without a full open heart, fully transparent, willing to be vulnerable, willing to receive and feel other people's impressions, perceptions, emotions. It's a communal network, so be aware that's what we're moving towards. But this Activation Friday was very powerful, and what it ended up aligning and being shown to me as we activated it, we did use a system of 8 because the new framework is in an 8 geometric, but using the dragon hearts, we actually also had an alignment outside of our inner 8 sphere that was holding the trine energy, which is 2 trines minimum, which creates a Star of David, which many of you are familiar with. But that is the old 12 grid. We are moving into an 8 grid. So trines and now moving into cubes or squares is the main geometric. So with that formation, what was really beautiful about it is having a specific number of my actual dragon hearts that participated. There were 8 of us holding, but when we bring our dragon self forward, when we have our dragon heart with us, then what's very beautiful is that we actually were able to split energetically and mirror the geometry we were doing above and amplify it into a full spinning geometric, which creates like an 8-pointed star, or a 16-pointed star actually, but there's another layer of geometry to it. But what's beautiful is when you split with your dragon heart and you are aligned so fully in the heart space, the human counterpart can be in one point and the dragon drop into a separate point, and that actually holds a field that incorporates the most ancient energies with the most current energies, and that also has an effect and piece with the energy of the template that gets really lit up. So what was beautiful about it is that hit from the South Pole. There were other points that it actually arced and jumped to and activated within the larger framework, connecting with the points like Kailash, connecting with the Matterhorn that I did in June of last year, and Fuji, and some of the other points that have been done around the globe, through Giza. There were so many pieces connected to it, but it was quite powerful. So if you felt that or felt the aftermath, and how would that roll out as aftermath over the weekend? When there's a big activation like that, it's essentially a realignment. It's a new higher frequency band available within our grid, which then can shift into and download into your template, and that typically will have some kind of symptoms of feeling this almost elated state when you're connected to it and you're like, whoa, definite higher resonance. Many people feel that when the planet itself is in that higher Schumann resonance, and we're being consistently dropped to very low Schumann resonance, very high Schumann resonance. And this actually is one of those pieces that increases the potential for that resonance to go even higher. So you might feel even higher windows of Schumann resonance coming into your field, and what does that do? You'll have moments of elation, and then you'll have whoa, drop down, fatigue, needing extra sleep, being like, whoa, I just can't move. This is going through for a lot of people. So just want to make you aware of it, let you feel into and be a part of what we experienced, what we did, what we do, because some of you out there are the next group of dragon hearts. We've already got one for sure, and I believe a second. I had an interview yesterday that are committed and in the sphere. So those other spots are going to start pulling those individuals that are meant to be in it. You'll feel a heart pull towards it, and follow that. If you don't have the application link, get a hold of me. I'll get it to you. I'll get you information about the program. The other piece coming up that I'm excited about is October 15th, we start the next Dragon Within Book Club. And I want to make sure everyone knows what that is, because I've already got 3 spots filled. And it's a month away, and typically it does fill up. I've got 10 spots. Depending on the last minute demand, I may open it up, just because there's so many on Zoom right now. There's so many that are doing at-home stuff because they can be at home, because their work schedule has shifted. So if it's something you've been wanting to do, your schedule is opened up on Thursdays. It is every Thursday from 11:30 to 1:30 for 6 weeks, and that's Pacific Standard Time. And what we do in that, it's called a book club, but it's not like we study the book each week and then talk about that. It's essentially an open forum discussion about everything to do with dragon, your journey, how it's affecting you, what you want to bring in, questions that come up during those 6 weeks. Amazing metaphysical discussions happen, and what ends up happening is a huge amount of transformation in a very short period of time with a fairly small investment. It's only $333, which is what, like $50 a week for powerhouse learning, expansion, meeting dragon family, and then we do a guided meditation within it every week that is very specific to the group. There are new dragons that come in. We never have it planned beforehand, and I just allow the energy to speak and move through and let the dragons that are present in that sphere of what each member is ready to expand into to have that come in, that's the energy that comes in, and that ends up being what really shifts people. And so in a book club, it's not just discussion, it's so much more. And that's the big joke, is always, oh, it's so much more than a book club. This is a book club. So we have a lot of fun, and it is one of the most fun things that I do every year, and I'm very much looking forward to it coming up. So those are the energies. That's what we're in. That's what's coming up and available. Trying to get more and more tools out to you guys. So I've shared with you recently the opening of the lair, and I wanted to bring on, because a lot of times you guys will see the pendants and the things that I wear and use all the time. And I've had a series of pendants created that are beautiful custom pieces. They are all either gold, silver, or black dragons. I'm holding up here, this is a silver on opalite and a gold on a dragon vein agate. These are two of the ones that I have available right now. So they're one-of-a-kind pieces. And there's lapis, there's, as I said, the opalite, there's moonstone, there's labradorite. You will often see me wearing my big labradorite piece because they're powerful, and they're just stunning. I never can walk outside of my house with it and not get a comment on how beautiful. So those are in the lair, and why I bring that up is not just about just a little plug for the lair, because there's so many amazing things in it. But when that piece comes to you, I am putting a transmission directly into whatever piece you buy, whether it's a dragon friend like one of these guys, or a pendant, or a piece that you actually wear on your body that is specifically designed to begin expanding you with the dragon energies into your own journey, that it's meant to bring and hold an expansive energy for you. Other pieces for expansion that I really am excited to be working on, I'm finally starting to record modules for an online class that is a do-it-your-own pace entry into the dragon realms. It's basically entering the dragon realms, and what that means, like base foundation learning of all the questions that you might have just coming in, which there's a lot of new people in the group, which is why I want to make sure, it's hard to go back and watch hours and hours of videos. And if I can compile it all into a small 3 or 4 module container, then you have it, you can go back and reference it, listen to it again, because they're all just like the book. I will say that every guided meditation that you have, every book, every recording from one of the programs, each time you go back and listen to it again, you get another layer out of it. You get taken into it, the next amplification of it, because that's what the dragons are here to do, to continue you moving forward. And I guarantee you there's things when you read the first time, like through the book, that you don't pick up on because you're not ready to see it, because it's a deeper layer. And that you go back and read it again, you're like, oh my God, I didn't even see that. That happens consistently. So bringing the tools out for you guys, I want you to have what you need. And if there's something that you envision or would like to see or need help with, please reach out, because this is my process. I'm continually evolving and creating more things that serve you guys, and we want to have that available, especially where we're at right now. This is really a tough year. We've got a few more months of toughness, and just hang in there. Don't let it get you down. Keep the hope, because we are seeing the light. The light at the end of the tunnel is starting to show. We're past the crux. We're past the halfway, but we've still got some pressure cooker. We've still got some stuff coming that's unfolding. I feel like this next month's going to be the hardest, but that's also a perception. That's a place that we can sit with our human self, and we don't have to stay there. We can stay in, I'm feeling pressure, I'm feeling down, or we can just keep allowing ourselves to release that and hold the highest vibration that we can, hold that highest frequency, knowing like, all right, We're not going to birth without pain. We're not going to get through this tunnel, it's a birthing tunnel. We are in a birthing process of a full reset of every level. We've longed for that. We've visioned it. We've known it's coming. But many haven't wanted to see or realize prior to this that any birth takes some effort. Whether it's pushing, contractions, labor pains, this is what happens in a birth, in a reset. Things have to be broken down. Things have to reach a critical point before it starts. So what happens in an actual pregnancy in the body? Everything's smooth and good, everything's growing and being nourished, and then you get to that end and it's like, all right, now the pressure starts. And that last few days, especially right before it's crunch time, there's a lot of pressure. The baby's head starts moving down into the birth canal. What does that do? That starts squeezing. Imagine this like that process. Go back and ask to remember your birthing process. If you go in, you have memory within of your birthing process, of feeling your head drop down. And maybe you were so resistant to it, you were a breech birth. And maybe that memory will help you realize that you don't want to breech birth again into this new realm. I don't want to go kicking and screaming and putting my feet first and going, and being dragged along. No, this is a conscious choice forward. You will reach a choice point, and you have a choice point to go one direction or another direction. So dive towards it. Moving, jumping, woo! We're going forward towards it. Excited. But what does that mean? We're diving into the birth canal. We're going to feel pressure. What happens for most babies? Why do they have soft skulls? Because they go through and their head gets compressed and they come out sort of elongated and strange. Oh, that creates a lot of pressure. That's what we're in. That's what we're feeling. That's why we have headaches. That's why we're fatigued. That's why all these things are hitting us. And like, I just want to get free and breathe. Exactly like that baby being born. He doesn't even know that there's breath out there. This is the beautiful thing of it. And I love why this analogy is coming through right now. That baby in the birth canal doesn't even know that it's supposed to breathe oxygen, and then that's what's coming. That's what it's headed for. It's going to come out into this new space and go, wow, where did I land? Allow yourself to envision that for where we're headed. We've been we've been in this system, which has been our experience in the womb space. If you imagine this earth as like the placenta, the embryonic sac that we've been in. We've been closed off. We've been there. Wow, I love this analogy that's coming through. The embryonic sac that the little baby sits in, that the fetus is in, and as it goes through its expansion, its development, he gets bigger and bigger, and he almost outgrows the sac, right? But the sac is the skin that's holding. There is like a skin holding 3D in place, very much like a birthing sac for Gaia. And I love this because many people have talked about Gaia birthing herself. Gaia actually coming into her, she cannot birth except into a fifth dimensional consciousness. So if she's been the baby in the embryo sac, if she's been in a atmospheric experience that is like an embryo, or like the embryonic sac, and I hope I'm using the right word, but it is that 3D skin. There's like a skin, literally, that's holding us in this framework. And as we dissolve and bust that out, what happens? The water breaks, and then that dissolves, and everything moves out and moves through the birth canal, and we come into that new space, and we're going to breathe differently. We are going to come out as if we're taking our first breath of air and realize how contracted we've been, how shut down we've been, how limited, mainly, that we've been. Just like the little baby inside mama's belly. Limited, but ready to expand into something different. Allow yourself to go back in meditation and remember what that birthing process was like, because it will help you advance through and shift how your birthing process was into the birthing process you want this to be. Interesting what is, I gotta read that comment in a second, Belinda. How you want this to be, what you want it to look like, and the allowance of breathing in the new, because every breath you take in the new is going to fill your lungs and heal everything that's moving through your body. So Belinda's saying, did you just cough up a Dragon Ball? I'm not sure what that means, Belinda, but I guess very possibly there is, interestingly, I would say since last September when I was in Tibet And especially since March, I have had a very odd tickle in my throat that results in a periodic cough here and there. I feel like there's some level of what is going on globally that is trying to infiltrate, that is part of every person, whether they contract the virus or not, because it's such a small number of people and it's totally overinflated, that are actually being affected by what's going on. But there's this much bigger thing behind the scenes. So I don't know, Dragon Ball, there's always dragon energy moving through my being. And yes, a lot of times, whether I burp, cough, sneeze, yawn, those things happen in my sessions that have nothing to do with what's going on in my body, but they are physical releases of the energy that is moving through when I'm in session. So interesting. And I do feel like a lot of my lives now, a lot of my classes are now literally as if I'm in session full time with reading space open and information coming. So yes, Belinda, I love that thought too. The baby doesn't even know about breath. The baby doesn't even know what air is, what breath is, what's awaiting it outside. And that's really, that analogy that just came through is so beautiful, and I'm grateful to my guides for that, because even from my perspective of how much information I've had about where we're headed, about the quantum field, and how many more things are coming. We're getting downloads all the time now, and really expanding this, pulling the cap apart, letting light in, and going into that space of, yeah, I'm like a baby being born, and I don't even know what the breath in that side is going to feel like. I don't even know what it is. I just know this, but I'm willing to go there. I'm excited to go there. So hopefully you guys are ready to go there. Please share this out if you think it would be helpful to people. I do share it out to a couple different places. But anytime you guys know someone that they may or may not be connected to dragons, but hearing that analogy of the birthing process might really help them understand what we're in right here. No matter what framework they come from, they might be star beings, but it will connect with them on some level. And even those that are not dragon benefit from the work with the dragons. They are here to help humanity move densities out very quickly through the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body. They work on those levels for everyone, not just dragons, but us as dragons that are waking up can then in turn help others with what we bring, because we carry those frequencies within us. So have a wonderful week. Look forward to seeing you guys next Tuesday. If you have questions or things you want to see covered, things you want to see created, be really, really open to sending me an email or a message, private message. I respond to those all the time. Very excited to always be here with my family. I love my dragon family. Thank you guys for being here. And yes, Legia, I'm really excited for the new Earth too. And you can feel it. In certain moments, you're feeling yourself expand into it. It's right next to us. We're not going somewhere else. It's right next to us. We just have to get rid of the veils and really step forward into that new frequency. All right. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.